So, from my understanding, I read in an oral history that from one of the Kūpuna from La'i Malo'o, that tutu Pahumoa, them, Papa Aina, all them, they used to supply the poi to one of the poi factories. Can't remember the name of it. I know I have it on the website. The story that was told by this Kūpuna, but they said that they planted a lot of kalo, and then they go and they take it to the poi factory.
That was my dad and your grandpa.
Yep.
Yeah, all the cultural center, mommy temple. We had all the taro patch there. We was raising the taros.
I remember Auntie Lily, you told a story about. I think you told me a story about going into the kalo fields.
Oh yeah, we were brought up. Every summer we went down there and we worked in the taro patch. Every Thursday it was pulling taro. We pulled taro and we cut it and we bagged it and left it on the side. And we took the pupula, then we cut it, remove this leaf, and we'd take the planting and left it on the side. Then on Friday we would have to go back in, clean the taro patch, and replant all of the...
So you did this every...
Yes.
How often did you have to do this? Every week?
Every week.
My goodness.
Every Thursday was to pull taro.
They was lucky.
Friday
every week. We gotta go every
plant
day.
it.
You had to do it every day.
We gotta do it every day after school and early in the morning before you go to school.
What happened if you didn't want to do it?
Well, you know, like tutu Pahumoa.
Yeah, there was no such thing.
They don't talk. They don't talk. They just
But the whole family came together to do this, right?
But most of the time was just my dad and my grandpa.
Yeah.
And with Eddie there, Uncle Eddie, Earl, Daddy, your grandpa.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the only one. So who was closer to the patch? It was the one who worked every day.
Yeah, Grandma, maybe that's why my grandpa went holo to the mainland. He didn't want to do the kalo no more. Now, Grandma, you remember the
Yeah, before they left, we transferred our farm up to Kahana Valley.
Yeah.
That's when they left. They didn't take long after that. They left. Only your great grandpa.
Only Alale.
Alale and Uncle Puni and my dad and us working at the patch.
And Uncle Pua, where was Uncle Pua at?
Well, he was working for the city county. He was the smallest one. He worked dry land. he was the road overseer for the Hawaii City County.
See, he came after my time.
We
were just young kids. And when we did that during summertime, June, July, and August, that's when we went down to work in the taro patch.
No more school there.
And what was very interesting is that the boys would, after work, they would pick up the taro, they would bring it to Maliana's house, and she would have these two big tubs and ready. So they came and they put the taro in these big pans, and then they would light the fire. Then she would go out and light the fire about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we cooked the taro that early.
The taro. So when the taro was cooked, after we had breakfast and the taro was cooked, we kids have to sit there and clean up those two big pans of the taro. Because we had to get that clean, because when the uncles were through working, they would stop by and they would bring up their poi boards and the poi pounders, and they would sit down and pound all of that taro.
How long did it take them to do that?
A couple of hours. And then they had so many crocks. Then they would fill up the crocks, and each crock went to different homes.
So this wasn't. Was this a way that the elder Kamake Aina, the Kūpuna at the time, made a living, or did the uncles, like tutu Pahumoa, them fished and farmed kalo and stuff to make a living? Yeah. But then later on, his sons, like my great grandfather Alale and them, they worked for the Honolulu, the railroad
Yeah.
and the telephone company and other companies
Yeah,
like that.
They worked on other jobs.
So the growing of the kalo
Yeah.
and the fishing went from being a way for them to make a living and to a way for them to sustain and have food for the household.
Right.
So the old ways of doing things, it eventually just went away. People didn't do them anymore. Like, when did the kalo fields finally stop?
The kalo field was stopped in 1964.
So it ran for over 100 years.
64, that's when we stopped because we didn't have land. We had to move out of Kaonohiakala Valley because the state took over.
Why did they take over?
They wanted to develop park, recreation.
Is that around the time of PCC?
And then in Laia Malo, not Laia Wai, all of those taro patches,
That was stopped.
the church took it over.
Mhm.
They bought all of that property. So,
They reused that for the people.
but the
of
springs
school.
are still there because that's why they use the springs for the cultural center.
Now, why did some of the ohana eventually move to Haula? So, Grandma, I know you grew up. You were born in Honolulu, but you grew up in Haula, and you remember the Kamake Ainas in Haula, right? Now, do you know why did some of the ohana move down to Haula from Laie Malo'o?
Like Papa Uncle Aina. Uncle Aina moved there because he was a park keeper for the city and county.
Yeah.
So he managed the beach park.
And Grandma, you remember him, right?
Yeah.
You guys used to go over and help them. Auntie said that your sister said that you guys used to go over there sometimes, and he'd still be steaming kalo to make poi
Oh,
sometimes.
we used to go to the house and kill taro.
Yeah.
How often did you do that?
Oh, once a week.
Yeah, once a week we cook.
So even though you weren't related to him, you just lived across the street and you had to go help?
Yeah, we go to kill taro and then they give us.
Yeah, everybody we share. What we cook on an old 55-gallon drum and put all the poi together, and then the
He
whole
give us
neighborhood.
poi and fish.
Yeah, we all divide among them.
And that lasted, how long did something like that last? I mean, how many families are you talking about? Like the whole area, the neighborhood?
I would say about half a dozen maybe.
Yeah.
Mostly just the immediate family,
family.
Yeah.
That's about it, But then we used to share